We went back in 4 weeks. Dave, I cannot tell you, I was so excited. His his memory improved 25 points, which is a lot. So then the doctor said,
Rosy, how did you find Carnivore?
well, it wasn't too long ago. Um, I actually started Carnivore in January of this year. However, it was a couple years ago. I was surfing the internet and found Ken Berry, and he had almost a 2 hour lecture on carnivore. And I listened to the whole thing, and mistakenly, I didn't save it. I have never been able to go back and find it again. But he's the one that planted the seed. And later on, I ran into Steak and Butter Girl. And then I found Chafee. And then your program, I found you, Dave. So in the last couple of years, I just started educating myself. In January, I decided I needed to do this. I've never been overweight, and after menopause in late 40s, early 50s is when the weight began to pack on. And I didn't get obese. I just carried around an extra 30, 35 pounds that I could not get rid of. And so that was my concern. Plus, I had the lymphedema in that one leg from multiple births. Um, I I had twins, and I found they're 56 years old today, but I found out after all those years that sometimes multiple births in the womb will damage the lymph, and that's what happened to me. And after they were born, my left leg was always very swollen and into my foot, and none of the doctors knew why. They would call it elephantitis or lymphedema, and they just couldn't help me. And only recently, um, being on the carnivore diet and buying a vibration plate helped that leg. And my leg today is almost normal, the size of the other leg. And I don't have to hide it anymore. I can wear dresses, shorter dresses. Previously, I always wore pants or long, very long dresses, but now I can show my legs, and I'm just so excited about that part. And and then the other thing I noticed on my carnivore diet is I once had smelly feet, and that came about, I would say again, in my 40s. And I would take my shoes off, and you could smell the odor. And no matter what I did, I even bought those inserts, odor eaters, and I did all the tips and tricks with salt baths, soaking your feet in salt water, and just trying to do everything. And my my feet would still be stinky. And that has gone. That has gone since starting carnivore in January. That has disappeared. I don't have that problem anymore. But anyway, I decided in January I would try the carnivore diet, and I made a huge mistake. I dove in head first, and instead of easing into it, which I should have done, and I experienced extreme uncomfortable oxalate dumping. And it lasted about 2 weeks. And I was sick and I hurt all over, and I had eruptions in my skin with it coming out through the pores, and my eyes burned. And it was just a horrible thing. But I got through it. As a matter of fact, when I went to see my doctor, was about towards the end of the 2 weeks of it, and I didn't really even need to go to the doctor. I was just having to go through that. And I did. I got through it. My doctor is one who likes to do natural healing if she can. She'll do medicine if she has to. But she's the one that explained to me about the oxalate dumping. I had not heard of that before. Otherwise, I would have eased into it. But I started out with it, and I started in January, and along about February, I begin to miss. I begin to miss the food. I love the food, the old food, the old food. I missed my cookies and toast in the morning and pizza on the weekend, and I begin to miss that. But I persevered. I didn't go get it. I didn't satisfy my addiction, which I found out I'm a huge carb addict. And but I learned how to make my steak the way I like it. I tried different things, too dry or too big, or finally I found I can eat a 6-ounce steak cooked medium rare, and when I put it on my plate, I drench it in butter. Oh, and and Redmond salt. I love their salt. So butter, salt, and that steak is like heaven to me, and I look forward to it every day. I'm down 10 pounds. It's not coming off easy. Everybody has a different metabolism, but at least I'm down, and I just keep plugging away. And I have coffee. I'm not strict carnivore. I do have coffee with a little bit of cream in it. I eat cheese, not a lot of cheese, but a little cheese, a little bit of that, and scrambled eggs. I watch. I don't know. Have you ever heard of Old Guy Carnivore? He makes his breakfast every day, bacon and eggs, and when the pan he takes the bacon out is the same pan he whips up. I think he uses 5 eggs, and he whips up the eggs and pours it into the pan, and it spreads all. It's a big pan, and it spreads out thin like a pancake. And he flips it, and I thought, oh, I'll do mine like that. But I didn't care for it that way because it dries out too quickly. I prefer a fluffy, moist scrambled egg. So I do mine a little bit different than Old Guy does. So every morning I have my scrambled eggs, and sometimes with bacon, sometimes not. If I don't have bacon, I just increase the eggs. Sometimes I'll grate some cheese into the scrambled eggs. And then when I put all that on the plate, I smother that with butter and Redmond salt. That's delicious with all that butter. I was raised on the farm, and we always had real butter. We made our own butter on the farm, and so I have always eaten only real butter because it only has 2 ingredients: cream and salt. And even way back in the 70s and 80s, when they had all these artificial butter spreads out, we never went to them. We always stayed with the real butter. But the vibration plate is what I think, with the carnivore eating, the vibration plate is the link to healing, especially if you have lymph problems. I should have done a demonstration for you, but it's just a square thing that you stand on, and it just vibrates.
So just to, like, the way this works, is it almost like it's the motion to move the water out of the
Mm-hmm.
where you want it to move. It's like almost like wringing out a cloth by shaking the cloth or something.
Exactly. That's exactly how it works. Um, they tell you, I have a rebounder, but it's big and it takes up a lot of room, and so I have it packed away. But they before the vibration plate was invented, they tell you to rebound to empty the lymph in your whole body. And but this vibration plate is even better than the rebounder, and they say 5 minutes on the plate is equal to 20 minutes of walking. And it's easy to do, and it goes from 1 to 100, and I'm at about 55 vibration. If I put it up any higher, I'll fly across the room. So, but I'm working at getting higher. And if anyone's listening and interested in the vibration plate, I just want to tell them you don't need the real expensive ones. I bought the lowest cost one. It was 189 on Life Pro. Well, that's the name of the vibration plate, Life Pro. And I to see if it would work, and it does work. And I'm glad I only spent that amount. I don't need to spend any more than that. And it really helps. It opens up the lymph glands, and it even makes your teeth rattle, and my glasses bounce, and it just works really well.
So how often are you using that in a day?
Oh, a lot. I just love it. I walk by it and I just step up on it and turn it on, and I would say probably 4 times a day, um, even more if I had the time. But it goes in 15-minute increments. It shuts down in 15 minutes. Then you have to restart it if you want to stay on it. But it's just a little square pad. It's about 2 inches off the floor. You plug it in, and you have a little remote, and you turn it on, and you start vibrating. And it's just, to me, it's just like a miracle. Nothing for 50 some years. I had to put up with that leg swelling, and now I don't. Now I'm old, and I have a good leg, but who cares now?
That's awesome. So, can you give me an idea of like what when you do have that or did have that leg swelling, is it just that you didn't want people to see it, or does it cause pain, or
No,
how's that?
no, yeah, no pain. I think lymphedema is the one that causes pain, but the lymphedema is just swelling. It's edema from the lymphs. Yeah, and the water goes into the tissue, and the lymph is blocked, and the circulation doesn't allow it to go back to the heart, for down the leg and back up. The lymph is blocked. Now, I don't fully understand it like a trained physician would, but I know enough about it to know that back in the day, the doctors didn't know anything about it. But the carnivore, and I'm not even sure if I was not on carnivore and only using the plate, I'm not even sure if even just using the plate would do it. I think it's the combination of of the food and the exercise of the lymph nodes.
Yeah, it
Actually,
maybe gives your body a chance to, even though the lymph nodes weren't working correctly, like your your body's got a chance to kind of get some of it working or restarted or something, right? Because
yes,
of the nutrition.
another woman that you may know about, Carrie, Carrie's wife, Jen, on Homestead now. She too had multiple births. She had triplets, and same thing happened to her. They damaged the lymph in the womb, and hers was more severe than mine. And she too is using the vibration plate as well as being on carnivore, and she's having wonderful results in her legs healing. Yeah, I
No.
um, I am so thankful I found carnivore. It's just a healthy way of eating. I feel bad. Many of us didn't know about this sooner, um, but it's here now, and people who want to hear will learn from it. And those who don't want to hear, they can continue doing whatever it is they're doing. It's okay.
So speaking of that, how have family or friends reacted to your your meat diet covered in butter?
Oh, they think I'm crazy. Yeah. They said, um, they said, oh, you need fruit, and you need fruit and vegetables. You need bananas, you for potassium. You need, they were going all down the line, you know. And I said, well, if you would watch some of these programs that are teaching the nutrition of carnivore, you would understand. I just can't tell you like they can tell it to you. And I have a large bridge group, and the women are, we're all seniors, we're all retired, we all moved to Florida and found each other, and we play bridge. And some of them have health issues that I know carnivore could help them with. I know that, but they just don't want to hear it. They they let me say what I want to say, but I can tell they're, it's in one ear and out the other. And many of them during the COVID pandemic back in the 20s, 2020, 2021, they all lined up to go get their shots and boosters, and they're still doing that. They get a cold today and they run off to get a COVID test. I don't know. And I think that is what is giving them health problems. I I try to I even try to explain to them they don't need to fear anything. Our bodies are so wonderfully made to heal itself, and it may take a while to figure it out, but we don't need all these tests and scans and mammograms and all, you name them, they want you to go have it tested. We don't need all that. The carnivore diet is the way to heal. It's going to heal the body. And if they would just take the fear away, they have a fear. If they don't go to the doctor and do what the doctor tells them to do, they're going to die, or something really bad is going to happen. They don't realize their achy knees can be healed, and colitis, and the other issues that they have. They're just afraid because of lack of knowledge.
Yeah. And the problem is the doctors have so little knowledge about nutrition as well
Hmm.
that if they go to the doctor and say, "Hey, my friend said this, what do you think?" The doctor's going to go, "No, no, no, you need this medicine."
Yes, yeah, and and that's all well and good because they're very well trained to dispense medicine, and they know which medicine to use for whichever ailment, and they have wonderful knowledge, and they are useful uh, for some things, but not for diet. They weren't trained in nutritional health, and they weren't trained to go to look for the source of the infection. Instead, they're trained to treat the infection. And my doctor that I found recently, I've been with her a year now, and we talk about this. She's very open about it, but she can't with every patient. She tries to steer them. She says she tries to talk with them so she can get an idea of where maybe the root of their sickness is. Um, but she only has a few minutes to spend with them, and I live very healthy. I'm very blessed. I have never had a major illness that I had to be hospitalized, other than the multiple birth thing with the lymph node. And other than that, I have been very healthy. I'm 78 right now. I'll be 79 in July, and I'm not on any medication. And my husband is 86, and he's not on any medication. And here's an interesting story. My husband, um, he became forgetful, very forgetful, to the point I was I was worrying, is he going into dementia or Alzheimer's? I was so worried about that. So we found a neurologist, and we went through all the tests, and the last test was a brain scan, and the brain scan gave an excellent report. There was no dementia disease or Alzheimer's disease. So the doctor said, of course, when my husband started out, he had to list any medications he was on, and he listed a mild blood pressure, and I forget the name of it, but it was cholesterol medicine he was on, a tablet. It starts with a R. Anyway, the neurologist told my husband, stop taking the cholesterol, and I want you to come back in 4 weeks, and we'll see what it's done. We went back in 4 weeks, Dave. I cannot tell you. I was so excited. His memory improved 25 points, which is a lot. So then the doctor said, don't take the cholesterol anymore. Throw it out. He said it's brain food, and the neurons in the brain weren't receiving the cholesterol they need, and that's why his memory had gone haywire, and eventually he would have gone into one of those diseases. So anyway, he said, stop taking it altogether, throw it out. And he said, I want to see you in, I forget now, a month or two. And we went back, and his memory improved so drastically. And even today, he has a wonderful memory. He was to the point he couldn't even remember how to get to Home Depot. And he couldn't remember all the favorite restaurants we used to drive to. He couldn't remember how to get there. At one point, he had trouble making out a banking deposit slip. But all that's gone. His memory's back. He's like his old self, and all because he went off the cholesterol medicine. And back in the early days, when he first went on, I tried to talk him into not doing that, because I read a wonderful book that convinced me we didn't need to lower our cholesterol. He'd say to me, "You're not a doctor. I know I'm not a doctor, but I read this, and a doctor wrote it." And but he wouldn't. He said no. So he was on that medicine a good 20 years. Yeah, and it darn near
Yeah.
ended him. But
Mhm.
he's good now. He's always been a tennis player. He's always been an avid tennis player, and being off that medicine just has helped him in so many ways. So if anybody's listening to this, I just hope if you're on the cholesterol medicine, you don't take it. No one needs to be led into dementia and those other memory issues. And so he's off his blood pressure medicine as well. So we're both med free.
So is he doing carnivore with you?
No, he's not. He's not. Um, he's 1 in a million for health. He his he has the genes. His family, they all live way beyond 100. As a matter of fact, his Aunt Grace just passed away a week ago at 107 on no medication, lived in her own house, still had her memory, and the only failing part was her hearing started to diminish. But she got her wish. All her friends are gone, family's gone. When you get 107, you're left alone. And she just wished she could go to bed and not wake up. She wished that for since probably 90 years old. And she did a week ago. Yeah. And all the relatives were happy for her. She finally, but anyway, my husband came from good genes and they're all thin. And he still has 20/20 vision at 86. He still has 20/20 vision. Um, he's 5'9" and weighs about 140 to 145. He's thin. Um, he just has natural health. Yeah, just natural health. He doesn't really need to build muscle. He's still very strong. Um, and he doesn't interfere with me either. I cook up my steak and I fix him whatever he wants. Usually he loves hamburgers. So
Ah.
I'll fix him a hamburger on a roll, and that's what he loves. But um, his health is very good, and so is mine. And I am now 5 months on carnivore, and loving every day of it. And oh, I meant to tell you, my addiction now is just about gone. It wouldn't take much for me to fall off the wagon, especially if some Hershey Kisses were laying there, and but takes willpower until you get trained. What does this mean? Fat, let's see, what's that second word?
Adapted?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Fat adapted is where your body is getting used to using fat for energy rather than carbs. So
Oh,
you've been feeding your body basically 99% carbs most of the time, right? And so your body goes, okay, well, I can use this, convert it to energy, and powers you that way.
I
Um,
see.
but now you're on fat and your body's kind of making that switch over, going, oh, hang on, I know what to do with this stuff, but should I not be using carbs anymore? So
I see. I see a lot of podcasts, and people will say, "I am now fat adapted." And what?
typically that comes along with some smelly breath.
Oh,
So, like, because when you're fat adapted, that's when you're starting to go into ketosis. And when you're in ketosis, that's when your breath starts to get a bit smelly and stuff like that.
and then what?
Because
It does it stay
the
smelling?
after a while, it seems to go away.
Oh,
And that I think that might be part of like the level of ketosis you're in is maybe more varied. But I mean, basically that bad smell, I mean, that's the fat kind of being released in, like it's burned
oh,
away and it's released as ketones.
I see. Oh, I
Yeah.
see. Oh, I don't want bad breath.
Yeah. Well, that's great, like not everyone really goes through it,
Oh,
you know. Um and for me, I haven't had keto breath
mhm.
for a long, long time.
Mm,
Or
mm.
at least no one's telling me I do
Oh,
anyway.
yeah, right.
And
Yeah,
so
yeah. They're too nice.
yeah. So, like, are you thinking about the future differently now that, your does it feel like you've kind of now that you've got your health back on track, it's like, the future's brighter?
Oh yes, oh yes. Oh, I'll never leave carnivore again, and I'll never leave my vibration plate. Not only is it good for my situation, but I think it's good for the whole body. To me, just natural walking is weight bearing, but on the vibration plate, it's still weight bearing. You're standing on your feet, but you're also moving everything inside your body. Everything is shaking and moving around. It's just wonderful. My future is eating healthy. Um, I would like to live as long as I can and be healthy and still have my mind. Um, and my husband would too. I just wish people would be more open, but they're not. I guess they have to find out for themselves. Um, I just stopped all tests and scans and blood work. Oh, there's online. There's a Dave Feldman. Own your labs. I think that's right. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do my own, and evaluate myself. And I'll keep my annual doctor appointment, um, and take my labs with me and show her, and we can go over them. But
Nice.
I have to,
Nice.
yeah, I have to maintain an annual appointment with her, otherwise she'll drop me.
I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I would like to have her on hand because she is open to carnivore. If I would like to have her on hand if I ever needed something extra. So,
Yeah. It's good to have a doctor in your corner like that. So,
mhm.
yeah.
Last night I was listening to Dr. Baker, and he was, I don't know if this is new information or not, it's new to me. He started a company called Rivero, and I guess it's online doctoring. Is that, you know about that? You know what that is? And I guess they evaluate you and help you.
Yeah. I don't know much detail about it, but I know he's been working hard over the years to get it all together. So, yeah, I think it's the last few months it's finally all come together,
Mm. Yeah,
and
that's,
they've been hiring doctors and stuff.
I see. Yeah, I want to send that to some family members and friends. Maybe they would be more open to that. Yeah. Um, I have family members that really need carnivore, and you can take a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, and that's kind of how it is. You can plant a seed.
Yeah. You just got to hope that, I think I was talking to someone earlier about this. There's got to be um, some kind of crisis or event in someone's life to make them really think, okay, well, I've got to try something else now. And you've just got to hope you've planted the seed so that when that happens, that they'll go, okay, well, maybe I can try this.
Yes, yeah. That's how it works most of the time, anyway. I remember raising my boys in this small town, and in this little town that we lived was an older woman, and she had legs really that looked like elephant legs. And being in my 20s at the time, I didn't know anything about that condition. Later on in life, much later in life, I learned that is called lipedema, and it's not fat related. But um, one of the doctors I was listening to, whether it be Baker or Barry or somebody I was listening to, said carnivore can reduce that uh, tremendously. It can reduce lipedema. Matter of fact, I think there's a lipedema doctor online. I think I even watched her. I forget her name, and she doctors for that specifically. Once I saw that, it's we go to the mall or somewhere, I see it all the time. Might be in their arms or their legs. Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's amazing how much carnivore proper nutrition can do to your body, right?
yeah, it is. It is. Carnivore is just so good for all different kinds of things. There's a restaurant in another town that we live in here that have special carnivore menus for carnivore eaters, which is basically meat and cheese, chicken.
Yeah.
Um,
That I guess they don't have to put too much thought into the menu.
yeah, yeah. Um, Someone this morning said chicken slows down their weight loss. Have you heard that?
I haven't heard that. The thing I hear most about chicken is that people don't like the taste as much anymore.
Oh,
Like
I
that
just
people tend to go off it.
I
Mm.
like I like chicken wings in the air fryer, and again, I smother them in butter. I'm a butter eater. I love butter, and so but I want to go. I should lose another 15 to 20 pounds, and then I'll be done. But that's not my purpose. It started out as my purpose, but now that I saw the healing of my leg, I've switched from the weight loss intention to health intention. I just want to be healthy, and to be healthy, you have to eat healthy. And if you're going to eat Cracker Jacks all day or cupcakes all day, you're not going to be healthy.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Rosie, is there a way that people can reach out to you if they want to get in contact? Do you have social media at all?
No, I don't. I'm just nobody. I just live here in Florida and enjoy your program. I love your program. I love the interesting guests you have. And forgot his name already, but I kind of think it's Todd. I love it. Did you have somebody named Todd? That was such a good
Yeah.
story.
Yeah, I had a guy with Todd on. He's got the goatee, right?
Yes, yes, he
Yeah.
was very, very interesting. Yeah, I love the way you format your program. It's wonderful. I follow you and the old guy Carnivore and a new one, Merowyn, Odyssey, Carnivore Odyssey.
Ah, yeah, I know Maya Win. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she's doing wonderful. And
Ah,
Lynette,
yeah, Limitless
Lindy,
Lindley. Yeah.
that's amazing. 700 pounds down to 500. Wow. Or no, or more than that.
Down Yeah, yeah, she's down to 200 and something, I think,
Yes.
or
Oh, she's
yeah.
lost 500. Yeah, 700.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
She's lost 500. Yes, that is just amazing. So when I get down to where I want to be, I'll let you know. But
Sure.
that doesn't matter to me now. I just want to
Yeah.
live forever.
Well, Rosie, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story with us. I really appreciate your time.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.